Hey readers, welcome to Response to Reading this week. This week we are going to be talking about historical fiction. So we've been talking about historical fiction for the past couple of days, and now you're going to get an opportunity to write about historical fiction. So first you need to pick a book that fits this definition of historical fiction that we came up with. So let me just pull that up. So historical fictions are made-up stories that take place in the past and tell about something or someone in history. So a great example of this is I Survived. The I Survived characters, the main character, the protagonist, is not a real character, but they are a made-up character in a real world where the events that are happening around them all happened in real life, or most of them happened in real life. So the eruption at Pompeii actually happened, and so that would be the true event. The made-up part would be that the character was there and the things that the character did. So you're thinking of which parts of your story are real and which ones of them are kind of made up, that fictional piece. So when you get to this assignment, you are going to look at my chart here as an example. You're also going to see this on the copy that you're making. So when you get started, you're going to pick a book, and you are going to find a book that you picked. So maybe you pick I Survived, the American Revolution. You're going to take a picture of the cover of the book and put it here on yours. So you're going to put a picture of the book here, and then you're going to include which parts are made up and which parts are historical or true. So for example, I chose Dad, Jackie, and me. So some of the things that were made up in the story, well, the father and the son are made up, but they're based on the real people. The author actually based it on his life. So the character in the story, the dad and the son, are not actually real. That's fictional. Jackie Robinson did not actually throw them a ball in real life like they did in the game in the book. That was made up as well. And his dad is actually not cheering for Jackie. He may be imagining what his dad would have sounded like if he was cheering, or maybe his dad did sound like that, but Jackie didn't ever hear his dad cheering for him like that. And the scrapbook they had, people probably had scrapbooks of all the articles about Jackie Robinson, but the scrapbook mentioned in the story wasn't a real scrapbook. So these are kind of things that people might be doing, but they didn't actually happen. So those events didn't actually happen. Those characters weren't actually real. On the other side, the historical parts, the true parts there, the Brooklyn Dodgers and Jackie Robinson are real. Okay, the Brooklyn Dodgers were a real baseball team in the year 1947, and Jackie Robinson was a real baseball player. He did start playing in 1947 for the Brooklyn Dodgers, so this right here was actually true. That's the year when he started playing for them. The Dodgers actually played in Ebbets Field. That was the name of their field in Brooklyn. And the Dodgers that year, they made it to the playoffs just like they did in the book. So all of those things so far are real. And then Jackie Robinson, they mentioned this. This is what he's famous for. This is the first African American in the MLB. That's a true thing. So you're going to be thinking, okay, in my book, which parts are real? Is this character real? Okay, people like Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, people like Martin Luther King Jr., those are real people. Okay, real events, segregation, World War I, World War II, things like that. Think of the real things that actually happened and list those, and then list the things that are fake. Maybe the characters are made up. Maybe the character has a conversation with Thomas Jefferson. That probably didn't happen. So you're just going to list down what was fictional and what was historical or real. So that is your job today. And you're going to make sure that you put this in your response to reading folder, because you're going to need this tomorrow or during your second visit for response to reading.